Alright, you guys asked for the video on refeeds, here it is. So as you can see, today my face is a bit bloated from the refeed I had yesterday. 1,200 grams of carbs, a lot of sodium, a lot of fats, not so much protein, but I made a few posts and people were really intrigued and really interested in how I get my body to the point that I'm able to refeed on such a high quantity of calories, high quantity of carbohydrates. And just to make note of this, this is not something that's genetic. This is not something that, you know, I'm not genetically shredded or anything like that. It's something you can work towards, something I work towards, something that you guys can work towards, and it is a process. It does take a bit of time to get your body to that point, but eventually when you get your body to that point, you're able to stay in shape for longer periods of time. You know, you see these fitness people that blow up right after a show, you know, they're all motivated right before a show or a photo shoot. As soon as the photo shoot or show's done, you don't hear from them for another 9 months until they start their prep again. And you know, that's not how I want to live. That's not how I want my clients to live. I think a bit of balance, somewhere in between, is great. And if you go back, you know, on my YouTube channel to one of my first videos I ever made when I really knew very little about physiology, biology, and more so about the body, I actually made a video on why I eat more when I diet. You know, I didn't know the science behind it, but I'm very intuitive with my body. I listen to my body. I'm very instinctive in what I do, and that's how the refeeds help me to expedite fat loss and to speed up the process of fat loss. You know, I tried the traditional bro dieting where, you know, you go very low calorie for extended periods of time and, you know, you don't believe in cheat meals. And what I found with that is that if you're natural, you're going to lose a lot of muscle quick and you're going to have a very hard time getting leaner, especially those last few percent of body fat. You're not going to drop them doing it naturally if you're not utilizing refeed days or high carbohydrate days to expedite and to elicit fat loss, okay? So what it's important to know how to get your body to that point is that you actually need to train hard. And I think this is the one that most people fail to realize and most people don't do, is that they don't train hard enough to create the demand for the carbohydrates, okay? So if you're not pushing your body enough, you're not depleting the glycogen, which is stored in the muscle. If you're not depleting stored glycogen, what's going to happen when you have a refeed day is you're going to spill over, you're going to end up storing more carbohydrates as fat. And that's what's going to happen. Sugar's going to get stored as fat. So you need to make sure you're really depleted before you refeed, okay? Now, one way to know that you're really depleted, or a few ways to know that you're really depleted, is that you are not getting pumps in the gym. You're not sweating as much in the gym. You're feeling really tired. You're feeling really run down, moody. You know, you're feeling up and down. You're feeling like you need to sleep a lot more. You'll feel it. You need to start being more instinctive, listening to biofeedback, signs that your body gives you, what your body's telling you it needs, you know, and you'll feel when you need a refeed eventually. You know, when you're training, you're not as strong. You'll feel that your body's just run down, you know, and this is typically going to happen for most people every 5 to 13 days, depending on how low your body fat is, depending on how hard you push. Now, I'm an extremist. I like killing my body to the point where I need to refeed every 3rd or 4th day. I've even got to the point where I'm doing it every other day. So, you know, every other day I'm having, you know, 1,000 grams of carbs, 800 grams of carbs, and, you know, it's no joke. My body needs it. It's burning through it, and if I don't have it, if I don't give it what it wants, I'm not going to end up getting leaner. I'm actually going to have a really hard time getting lean. My body's not going to want to drop any fat. I'm not going to have any energy for my workouts. It's just going to be hell. So, you know, you have to give your body what it wants, but you have to distinguish the difference between what it wants and what it needs. Sorry, what you want and what it needs. So most people, you know, they're going to be hungry for more calories. It's part of the dieting process is to feel hungry. So don't mistake in that for, you know, being depleted. You need to feel hungry. You need to feel like you're giving your body less than what it needs to run. That way, that's how you're going to lose fat. You're going to tap into stored fat. So most people make that misconception and they mess it up there. Now, if you're honest with yourself and you know you're really depleted, let it go a few days. If you go 2 days and you realize, you know, the symptoms are still the same, it's probably time for a refeed. So the number one thing that you need to do in order to earn a refeed, I should say, is that you are training your ass off day in, day out. The harder you train, the more frequent you train, the more frequent you're probably going to need a refeed day, okay? So that's the first thing that you're going to need to do. You're going to need to bust your ass in the gym, which most people don't do. You know, don't move weight from point A to point B, contract the muscle. That's how you're gonna really squeeze the glycogen. You're really gonna deplete the muscle by contracting the muscle as you train. Okay, that's the number one thing. The second thing that I think is very important in order to get your body to that point is consistency. Like I said, you can't be one of these fitness people that blow up and shrink and blow up and shrink and they're all over the map. You have to be consistent day in, day out. You have to, you know, be training hard day in, day out. You have to be consistent with your diet day in, day out, to the point where you're refeeding every third or fourth day. It may be at first every 3 weeks for most people because they don't train hard enough. Their body's not used to restoring leptin levels and upregulating hormonal balance. So it takes time for your body to adapt to that and get used to that and create that demand for that. But once that happens, you're going to be able to eat a lot more food more frequently, which means that you're going to be able to diet longer and not blow up after a show or after a photo shoot. Most people are doing 3-month diets out of the year. You're not going to establish any sort of baseline. You're not going to create a new set point for your body or, you know, make it easier to diet if you're only dieting for 3 months and then the other 9 months of the year you're just fucking around. It's plain and simple. It's not going to happen. So you need to hold yourself accountable, be consistent, work your body up to that point. I have females, and no word of a lie, I'll post their pictures, that are 110 pounds eating 500 grams of carbs a day. You know, I'm not that much of a genetic freak where I'm probably going to get to that point. I'll be honest with you. As hard as I train, it's going to be really difficult to consistently consume 500 grams of carbs and be shredded. But my point is that had they worked with someone else that believes in this low calorie approach and low carbohydrate approach, and they don't believe in refeeds to elicit this, then they probably would be eating almost no food, doing a lot of cardio, and probably not even looking as good. These girls are really lean, doing almost no cardio, low to no cardio, and eating very high amounts of food. So most of these girls have been working with me for about 8 months, a year, things like that, to get their body to that point. So it does take time. You need to be patient. Patience is the key to everything in life. And the problem is most people don't want to do that. You know, most people want, you know, I can get anyone in shape in 3 months. I can get anyone in shape in 2 months. I can get anyone in shape in 1 month. But at what cost? Is it you're doing an hour of cardio a day? Are you doing 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours? You know, that's what you need to understand. That doesn't impress me to get someone in shape in a short period of time. It impresses me to get someone in shape the healthiest way possible, eating the most amount of food, feeling the best, feeling the strongest, maintaining your strength, okay? So this is part 1 of the Refeed carbohydrate video series. I'm going to keep on making these videos because it seems like there's a high demand for this, or you guys just really fucking love looking at the food that I eat. But I'm going to also do day in the life eating videos of what I eat on a refeed day, so you guys can actually visually see that. But post below on what more you want to see regarding refeeds, carbohydrates, and things of that nature for fat loss. And you know, as always, I love making these videos, but you guys got to share them, you got to like them, you got to comment, spread the word.